Greetings. Welcome to In Conversation with Trevor, brought to you by Heart and Soul Broadcasting Services. I go beyond the headlines and beyond the sensational. Today I'm in conversation with Archford Rutanhira, a partner at Scanlen Holderness Legal Practitioners. Enjoy this truly inspirational conversation. Archford Rutanhira, welcome to In Conversation with Trevor.
Thank you, Trevor.
What a pleasure. I'm delighted that you are here. And as you were getting off the car, you reminded me that you were one of my lawyers when I was fighting for my citizenship. But we'll talk about that later on. Archford, talk to us about how you got involved in this accident that left you in this condition that you are in now.
It was a normal day. I remember vividly. It was on the 26th of December, 2012. And just to give you a background. I had gone for about 6 years without visiting my parents in the rural areas, that is in the Nembuzia area, in Kokwe. So it so happened that I had just been made partner in 2011. So just like any young man, the first thing that you would focus on purchasing or buying was a nice car. And I managed to buy a Toyota Hilux. But the idea behind buying the Toyota Hilux was to be able to negotiate the terrain of the roads to my rural areas. And it was an opportunity for me to be able to visit my parents from time to time. So that was the first time that I had to, after 6 years, to visit my parents.
Right.
And it was around the Christmas period. So I went there with my family. That was my wife and my daughter. She was still, I think she was between 2 and 3 years.
Anashe
Natasha Rutanhira. Then we had a wonderful Christmas, and my parents were happy, seeing their son for the first time in the rural areas.
You're the firstborn in the family, right?
No, I'm the second born.
Okay.
But I'm the Newanji. I'm the first boy.
All right.
Yes. The first born is a girl.
She's
married. Yes. Then comes myself. Then the last born is my brother. He's the one who is staying at the family home in Kwadzana, where I grew up.
Right.
So it was me, my family, and my brother, and my sister's daughter, whom I was taking care of. She was schooling here in Harare. So we went there. We had a wonderful time. But it so happened, these things are written. I would say they are written somewhere, maybe in the stars, or if something is to happen, it happens.
Absolutely.
Maybe call it fate or destiny.
Yeah.
So happened that we had not planned to come back on the 26th. But I think because of the lot of meat that we had ate on the 25th, my daughter, in fact, it was my wife who complained in the morning that she was not feeling well.
All right.
She was having problems with the stomach ache of some sorts. But that didn't move me. But when my daughter started complaining also, the Gokwe area is it's a terrible area when it comes to malaria.
All right.
So the first thing that hit my mind when I heard my daughter complaining, I said, no, probably it could be malaria. And because of the lack of very good health facilities there, I said, no, I can't take a risk. Let's pick up. Let's hit the road. Let's go back to Harare. We'll pass through Kadoma and we'll consult some doctors. So all our plans changed. We then set on the road back to Harare. But I'll tell you, Trevor, I was very calm because I'm the one who was driving. I was very calm. But the road that we were using, it was what one would call a strip road.
Right.
What
time of the day is this?
If I remember well, I think we left my parents' homestead around 10:30, 11.
Okay, so it's morning. Okay.
Yeah, it's morning. Yeah. But because of the roads.
Yes, sure.
You're traveling around 40, 50 kilometers per hour.
It's slow.
Yeah, slow. So we managed to negotiate, I think, most of the bad parts of the road. And I think about 5 or so kilometers, less than 10 kilometers away from the nice tarred road. If you have been to the Patchway area, just near Patchway shops, if I may put it that way, where there are some little shops at Patchway. So 5 kilometers away from that, that's when disaster struck. But if you had to ask me what happened, I think because of the trauma and everything that took place, I can't remember. All I remember is seeing the car facing, getting out of the road, and I was looking at a tree, and that was it, lights out. Only to be able to be a bit conscious as people were trying to get me out of the car, because the car had, from what eyewitnesses then said later on, the car had hit the tree, and but the tree had resisted being brought down by the car, and the car spun, I think they said 3 times, in the air, and it landed on its back. So my daughter, who was being held by my brother on his lap, was thrown out of the car together with my brother, and lucky enough, it was the car landed in a field. So it wasn't much of a hard ground, as it were. So my daughter sustained injuries in both legs. She couldn't walk. Then there were 3 gentlemen who were seated, because it was a double cab, but it didn't have a canopy. So they were seated
at the back.
At the back. But because the car had spun in the air 3 times, you can imagine what became of them. They unfortunately passed on at the scene. Then my wife, lucky enough for her, she managed to walk out unscathed. Then, as for me, I was stuck in my driver's seat with my seatbelt on, but without necessarily blaming the people who came to my rescue. You know, I think their idea was just to get me out of the car. But I suspect that that's when the injury came about, because it was a question of, the door was jammed, so they were just trying to pull me out of the car. And I think that's when I snapped my spinal cord right up near the neck area.
So at the moment, you can only use you from your neck upwards. Downwards, you can't. You have no movement.
There's movement, but it's not as strong. There's no strength.
Okay.
It's like with my head, I can.
Okay.
Probably, but I can't function using it.
Okay.
I can't write. I can't. I can pretend to greet you with my hand, but I can't grab. Grab your hand.
Sure. And your daughter, she's okay.
You know, she was young.
Yeah.
And the doctor just had to put what do you call them? Plasters, okay. Yes. And in no time, I think in a month or
she's
two,
okay.
She was
okay
running.
now. Yeah.
She's actually, at the moment, she's actually at school. She does. She's in the hockey team.
Oh wow.
She does athletics. She used to be in the swimming team. Yeah.
So it couldn't have been easy for you.
Yes.
Have had full control of your entire body, your limbs. To get up, rather one morning you're in bed and this is what's happened to you. Talk to us as succinctly as you can. What goes through your mind as you realize you can move your legs, you can move your hands? What goes through your mind?
Funny enough, I would say I think life in a way had prepared me for that moment, but without me knowing. Why am I saying so, Trevor? Is this was not the first time that I had lost mobility, if I may put that.
Yeah,
that way.
That's the better word, yeah.
The first time, I think I was still in the rural areas, that is in Nyazvidzi, small scale farming area, where my grandfather, my father's dad, He had a farm, a small scale farm. That's where I did my primary from grade 1 to grade 4.
Right.
So I was a short distance runner, as well as my sister. We're very good at it. And I'd like to say we had just won the district competitions. And rumor has it, that is from my mom. From my mom,
Yeah.
if you ask my mom, that African science was at play. So one day, we just woke up, me and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
It was a school day, and we couldn't walk. It's
Both of you?
Yes, it's a true story, Trevor. We had won the previous day. We had won, during those days, you wouldn't win money or things like that. You would win plates, you would win teapots, you would win cups. And these were things that you would win for your mom, for her to display in her rural kitchen and things like that. Because my mom was a stay-at-home rural woman. Whilst my dad was in the...
Your father is a tailor, or was a tailor?
Yes, he was. Yeah. He was a tailor. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Later. So we woke up, and my granddad, that is my father's father, that is my paternal grandfather, was still alive. So I just woke up. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't do anything.
How long did this last for?
It was a day.
The whole day?
Yes.
Both of you can't walk?
Yes, both of us can't walk. But in the rural areas, the old man, that is my paternal grandfather, I think realized what was happening. And that was my first experience to visit a traditional healer. And I was in grade, if I remember well, I was in grade 3. My sister was in grade 5. And we visited the traditional healer in the morning. I think it was around 10, 11-ish. When we got there, we were given some porridge mixed with some traditional medicine. I remember, I think it caused us to sleep. I slept and I woke up, I think it was around past 3, thereabouts.
At which point you could walk now?
Yes. When we went to this traditional healer's place, my mom was carrying my sister on her back. Then the old man carried me on his back. And it was a distance of about, I can roughly put it at around 7 or so kilometers.
So you put it down to African science. Yes. Explain that to me. What do you think happened?
According to the theory that my mom has, it was because of the successes that we were having, both in sports, and we were also good even in school.
Do you then also explain the accident? Do you think something of that sort was involved? African science was involved? Because I'm surprised you're doing 40 kilometers on a terrible road.
Yes.
And the car spins 3 times. Is that how you explain it?
When we come to the accident, As much as I was doing 40, 50 kilometers per hour, my theory is if African science was involved, it was involved to a certain extent, such that when the accident was about to happen, I think there is something that caused me to panic.
I see.
And I think I hit hard on the accelerator.
I see.
As a result of the panic.
Join us for Alpha Media Holdings' first golf excursion in Cape Town from the 14th of August to the 19th of August. Experience 4 rounds of golf in Africa's best golf courses. Explore the beauty of Cape Town's beautiful coastal views, lakes, and gorgeous farmlands. Experience wine tasting and some of the best wines in Africa, and network with South Africa's most prestigious businesses. Don't miss out on this exciting excursion.
So you find yourself unable to move. How do you deal with that? This new condition that you find yourself with, mentally, psychologically, and with people around you trying to get used to the new you. How do you deal with that? Your recovery process, both physically and mentally.
I don't want to lie to you, Trevor, it was difficult. And it took a lot of help from different people. When I say it was difficult, Trevor, I remember I said we had gone to the rural areas for the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
So it's one day you are, you are partying.
You're dancing.
Yes, you are helping.
High spirits.
In the slaughtering of the goats and all things like that. Then the following day, before the day ends, you are at Avenues Clinic and you are being booked into an operating theater for which the operation, I think, took about 9 hours for the doctors to do the operation. Then fast forward to the rehabilitation center that is at St. Giles. That's where I was. That's when reality dawned on me. You know, with doctors, when they realize that you are still fragile, they don't tell you the whole truth. So the picture that I had, to be honest, between the time I was at Avenues and the
St.
time I
Giles.
was transferred to St. Giles, to me, the question I asked my doctor was, that is my neurosurgeon, was did I break any of my limbs? And he was like, no, you didn't. So I was, I'm okay.
I'm going to be walking.
Yes, I'm going to be walking. It's just a matter of days. Little did I know that the fact that I had broken my spinal cord was way too serious than, having a broken leg or a broken arm. And this was only explained to me when I was at St. Giles. And the most difficult thing was the life at St. Giles. For me, my life was, I had to spend 4 months, my life being from the bed to the stretcher. No wheelchair, no sitting, nothing.
So what's going through your mind? That must be the most difficult part, isn't it?
The question is, what's next for me?
Yeah.
What is my life going to be like? And
how do you answer those questions?
Initially, I didn't have an answer, but I was seeing certain things unraveling, like people I used to have close to me. They were nowhere to be found. People I considered friends.
Wow.
They were nowhere to be found. People I considered close relatives. They were nowhere to be found.
What did that do to you?
For a short time, it crushed my spirit. I would cry with my mom because my mom was around, my wife was around. Then my daughter, because of her age, she would only be allowed during weekends, maybe for an hour or two. And she was, I must say, my daughter was the source of inspiration, the source of hope. Because every time I looked at her, the question that came to my mind was, if I give up, what is going to happen to this little one? She was, I don't have another child out there. So she was my everything. My world revolved around her.
Wow.
Yeah. So she...
But most people have walked away from you.
Yes, most have walked away from me. But you know, God works in a amazing and wonderful way. There are some people who, during the time I was able to walk, do things on my own, I would consider them just probably professional colleagues and stuff like that. Those are the people who turned out to be true friends.
Wow.
And I would, if you may permit me,
sure, absolutely,
I would mention some.
Please go ahead.
Maybe
Please
two or three names.
Mm-hmm.
There's one another lawyer called Shelton Mahoney.
Mm-hmm.
There's another lawyer called David Tandiri.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another guy who used to work at Scanlen called Tenem Rambisa.
Mm-hmm.
These are people I just used as, I just
thought were colleagues.
Were just colleagues, people I know. Because David Tandiri and Shelton Mahoney, we had gone to law school together. But they were not like in my inner circle. But I tell you, every time I needed something,
they were there for you.
They were there for me, whether it was 11 p.m. They would drive to come to St. Giles, probably just because I was craving for buns, simple things like buns, simple things like a bottle of Fanta, things like that. But I also had close friends who remained true to their word, and these have remained to this day as my best friends.
Well, what has that taught you about human relationships? You are inspired by your daughter.
Yes.
You have your mom supporting you there. Some of your friends walk away. People that you thought were acquaintances become friends. What's that taught you about human relationships?
In one way, I would say they're fragile. And you can never tell what is going on in another person's mind. And thinking about it or reflecting about it, about that period, never judge. That's where that statement, never judge a book by its cover, might also apply. Because the people, as I said, the people I used to go to lunch with, sharing my worst fears, sharing my achievements with, thinking these are the best friends I have, or some of the best friends I have. I had a wrong picture of them.
Which got corrected.
Yes.
What about you talk about African sciences twice, but I see now you're putting on the cross.
Yes.
Has there been a transformation in you? Have you always been a believer?
I was. Both my paternal and maternal grandparents, whom I would say laid the basis for both my life and even my siblings' lives. They were both Reformed Church believers. That is Dutch Reformed Church. So they were spiritual, spiritual people. But people of that time, as much as they were church people, but they also believed in
African science.
They are Zimu, and so you would have periods where they would have, if there was any need, they would perform the Kuroagua, ceremonies for the departed and stuff like that. So I was a product of both the Christian
And the traditional
upbringing and the traditional, aspects of life.
So you've related to us your struggle at St. Giles. You leave St. Giles. Talk to me about how you then face the world, how you get on as carrying out your professional duties as a lawyer. How easy was that?
As I was about to say, Trevor, my first fight was with my doctors. Imagine I had spent 4.5 months at St. Giles, but there was a family to be taken care of. Maybe let me point this out. I usually say to people I'm the sender of my family. I wouldn't hesitate to say without me, my family is will be different, in the sense that I am the most successful of my siblings, if I may put it that way. Say that I am the one who had to see my brother through university. I had grown up.
So why are you fighting with your doctors?
Fighting with my doctors. The doctors are saying you are not yet ready to go back. And I'm saying, I've got a job to carry out.
I've got a family to take care of.
I've got a family to take care of. My daughter was now in kindergarten. And also, I knew that as much as I had all the love and support from my partners at Scanlen, it couldn't go on forever. I also had to make a contribution.
So how did that fight end?
I won. Naturally, I won.
And the fight was, let me go. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And the doctors would say, but you have to sign off to say whatever is going to happen to you, we are not responsible. And I was like, I will happily do that. Just let me let the physiotherapist help me with getting onto a wheelchair.
So you win that battle, you get onto the wheelchair, you now face the world. Well, how do you deal with that? Is it another fight again?
It's another fight, but this time it's better because I have some bit of support.
Okay.
And
talk to me about that support. Where is that support coming from?
The support, the work on the professional front, the support is coming from Lorraine.
Okay.
Your
PA?
My PA. She is the one who would say, boss, you can do this.
Oh, wow.
And Trevor, I tell you,
oh, wow.
I used to have a reclining wheelchair. We would work, I had set up an office at home. During that time, I was still renting, and we were staying in the Avenues area. So I had to convert one of the bedrooms to an office. And she would come. And my body, during the first days, had not yet gotten stronger. So I would have episodes where I would choke.
Okay.
I had episodes where I would get dizzy. I would just faint. But as I said, Lorraine was a wonderful. She was an angel, sent from above, because she, as much as she was my assistant or was somewhat co-secretary, she took it further. She didn't just stop at saying, no, I'm here to do the typing. No. But when she saw that I got choked, she was there to rush with a bottle of water. When she saw that I'm almost collapsing because I've gotten dizzy, she would know what to do. You know?
I'm wondering, because I sense strength from St. Giles.
Yes.
Strength as Lorraine is helping you as you're fainting and so forth. Where does that come from?
You know, when you are, Trevor, when you come from a poor background, there are a lot of lessons that you pick up along the way. You would have, I had experienced a tough life right from the time I was very young. You'd have seen from my write-up that I sent to you that it was not a cozy life that I led. You know, you are coming from the rural areas where you are just as good as a poor farm boy. who has to combine going to school with heading cattle, with going to the fields.
So this upbringing,
Yes.
this tough upbringing,
Yes.
suddenly becomes very useful.
Yes.
As you recover. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely, sure.
And what about, am I right? You took time to have the confidence to appear in court.
Yes.
Because of fear of stigmatization.
Yes.
Talk to me about that, the stigmatization. How did it manifest and how did you deal with it?
Initially, it was fear of the unknown. You know, imagine the last time I had seen my colleagues, the last time I had seen my clients, I was the energetic Archford, running from one court to the other, from one meeting to the other, meeting clients, be it at Railton Sports Club over the weekend.
The energetic Archford,
Yes.
who with Stanford Moyo fought my case and helped me get my citizenship, suddenly is having difficulties facing the world.
That was the situation.
What do you then? How do you overcome that fear of stigmatization, the fear of the unknown?
Support, and I'm a very inquisitive person. I think that helped me because even my other assistant, Tonde, I think you saw him outside.
Yeah.
He was always in trouble with me saying, hey, let's go to YouTube. Let's find out what this person is doing. This person who has got physical disabilities is doing. And I can't remember the name of the white guy. He doesn't have hands.
Stephen Hawkins? No? No. Okay.
Stephen Hawkins came later. He doesn't have legs, doesn't have hands, but he does amazing things. He can swim. He can.
Has that been one of the things that has encouraged you, motivated you?
Yeah, of course. If someone like that can lead a comfortable life, the question I asked myself was, why should I be different? I still have the kind of job that I do, or my profession. I am not an engineer who needs his hands and legs. I'm a lawyer, and lawyers, you just need your head and your voice. The typing, I leave it to Lorraine, and the other stuff, I leave it to other people. If it's about going to court, I've got my wheelchair and I've got my car.
How do you respond to members of the public? I think the tendency is to want to feel pity for you.
Yes.
How would you want the world to look at you? I mean, people are watching us right now, and some people are looking at you, feeling pity for you. When I met you, having known you before, this is the first time that I met you in a wheelchair. It's difficult not to feel sympathetic. How do you want the world to look at you and all the other people that live with disability like you?
I want the world to look at me just as a normal human being, just as another. I want them to see the power of God in me or through me, And I would, in answering that question also, I would tell you what I told my mom. Because my mom would cry with me, and obviously she was heartbroken by the whole experience. But the one thing that I told her was, Mom, I haven't changed. I want you to continue to demand the things that you used to demand before this accident happened. I don't want you to be suffering and to be lacking something and saying, no, I can't ask my son this.
Do you
this and
find
that.
people find it easy to do that, not to sympathize with you, not to feel pity for you?
Those who know me, they actually, they no longer sympathize with me. They actually push me
Right.
to, like with my friends, my two or three best friends. That is Admire Msonza, Admire Nyeremoka, and Alan Mamvura. And it's a diverse pool of friends. Admire Msonza is a lawyer. We were together in law school. Admire Nyeremoka grew up together in Kwazan, and is a social worker. And Alan Mamvura is a social worker, but he's a pastor. So I can tap into all those people. And their support.
Yeah. Tell me, Archford,
valuable.
do you still have memories of you being able to walk? Do you miss it? What part of your previous life condition do you miss the most?
Carrying my daughter. That's one. Just like any married man, hugging my wife and carrying my wife. I do miss that. I do miss doing certain things on my own. Just eating. Now I no longer can eat on my own because I can't hold, let's say, the simplest thing like a spoon. So I need assistance with that. Brushing my own teeth, things like that. I do miss those things.
You do miss those things. You are an inspiration to a lot of people.
Thank you.
Talk to me, or rather talk to the audience out at home who are watching you. What message do you have in the first instance for people who find themselves in your condition that you are in right now? And secondly, people like your mother, people having to deal with their loved ones who their circumstances changed overnight like happened to you. What message would you have for them?
Love us the same way that you used to love us before the injuries. Or should I say, love us even more. Because you never know. God probably has allowed that to happen for a higher purpose. Why am I saying so, Trevor? I have achieved far greater things after my injury than what I had before my injury. This was, you are looking at someone who was, as I said, a poor boy in the farming areas of Nyashidzi. And I never dreamt that I would one day have white people as neighbors. I never dreamed that I would own a house in one of the affluent areas of Harare. I never dreamed that I would be a partner at Scanlen Holderness, arguably the largest law firm in the country. I never dreamed that I would be here with you. You know, I never dreamed that as I was herding cattle in Nyavitsi Kutu, I would one day be on a plane going to South Africa or going to this place or the other.
So essentially,
Yeah,
your dreams have not stopped.
they haven't. And I'm not stopping.
So for me, your life is inspirational. You haven't given up. Yeah. You are still dreaming.
Yes.
This boy from Nyazwidzi, or this man from Nyazwidzi,
yes.
is still doing amazing things. Tell me how your achievements since after the accident, your relationship with your clients, the new clients that have come aboard, the way your clients have responded to your new condition, and the heights that you've climbed.
Yes. I would put it, first of all, to God. Because one of my biggest fears was losing my clients after the accident. But they stood by me, to be honest. And Trevor, we are not talking about individual clients who are just walking or roaming the streets. No, we are talking about serious clients.
Corporate clients.
Corporate clients. Of course, because of professional reasons,
sure.
I can't disclose some of them. But these are big corporates, leaders in their various industries. We are talking about big churches. And I'm sure you'd have seen in the bio that I sent you that I'm the country representative for one of the largest global animal welfare organizations called IFAO. That organization started,
International Fund for Animal Welfare.
It started off as a client, and they then robbed me onto their board.
And you're a board member of the Medical Research Council of Zimbabwe.
Yes. I am.
Well done.
Actually, I am the chairperson for the finance committee also for that organization. As you know, it's under the Ministry of Health, and we primarily focus on medical research. And we work hand in hand with MCAS. MCAS, they focus on licensing medicines, drugs, and things like that. But we are, as a Medical Research Council, focusing on the research component of the medical side of things. Yeah.
You say your dream is to make a contribution towards creating a better world. Talk to me about that.
A better word for the vulnerable, Trevor, because there is no use for me to work towards making a better word for those who have already made it. My experience has shown me that people who have vulnerable people, I wouldn't only focus on people with physical disabilities. You're talking of the elderly, you're talking of the orphans. It's unfortunate that they are relegated to the periphery of economic activity, periphery of decent life, if I may put it that way. And I'd really want to take this opportunity to call upon the government to do more.
Mm.
You know, I'll just give an example of the command agriculture system. I think as much as it is a commendable program, but I think it's to me it's misplaced. Why should command agriculture target Trevor, who has some bit of capacity in doing farming on the farm that he was given by government? When there are people with physical disabilities, blind people, orphans, elderly people who don't even own a piece of land, why not put aside some farming land for those people? There are a lot of people who are in prison who are not doing anything. Then take those people and make them work in those farms, so that you at least you make life a bit easier for those who are vulnerable.
Well, what other things is our society not alive to relating to people who are marginalized, like you say, and people living with disability?
We have a lot to offer, and I think a lot of people, including politicians, they either don't know that, or they don't want to acknowledge that we have a lot to offer. It's like, for example, with me, I have got my physical disabilities, but my mental faculties are still intact, or even better than they were when I was still up and running. As I said, I'm a member of the Medical Research Council of Zimbabwe. And if you are to talk to my fellow board members, they'll tell you that they have an asset in me without me sounding like I'm blowing my own trumpet.
Sure.
Talk to Stanford. Talk to my partners at Scanlen. Talk to my colleagues in the legal profession. Talk to the judges that I interact with. Talk to the clients. You know, it's not easy, Trevor, when you are in a wheelchair, but a client continues to want to see you working on their briefs. Although when you visit them, you give them a hard time by saying, please, I can't stay in this hotel because of one reason or the other.
Because the facilities have not been tailor-made to take into account your condition.
My condition.
Yeah.
But they are prepared to go the extra mile to accommodate you because they see an asset in you rather than a liability.
So what you're essentially saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we're not taking full advantage of a lot of our compatriots.
Yes.
Because we marginalize them because of their condition.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. And yet, like when we started, I say to you that there's nobody who's perfect.
Yes.
All of us are going around carrying disability of some sort. And the difference is that yours is obvious. And yet, I think the most important thing for me is a society that's full of love, that accommodates all of us,
yes,
with our shortcomings, with our essentially that accommodates us. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, shortcomings and with our strengths.
Yeah, our weaknesses.
Yes, I might be weak in the sense that I can't walk, but I've got my strength in my head.
Yeah.
Give me for example, give me a board to run. I can run it.
Don't look down upon me because I'm in a wheelchair.
Yes, because it's not the legs.
Yeah.
That determine how a law practice is run. I've got my responsibility as Scanlen of training the new recruits. I'm in that committee, and I do it. I want to believe I do it well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You were born in Nyazwidzi, rural areas. Nyazwidzi.
It's Nyazwidzi.
Okay. Nyazwidzi.
Yes.
I'm trying.
I know.
I'm trying.
Yeah. You are.
And your education, talk to me about that briefly. You went to Chikara Primary Schools. Which other schools did you go to before getting to University of Zimbabwe?
Chikara Primary School, grade 1 to grade 4.
Yeah.
Because of my father was born in a family of 6 boys.
Yeah.
So you know how it is when the old man that is their father was now reaching his twilight in terms of age. You know, there are challenges.
Yeah.
So my father had the wisdom to just say, let me move away with my family. I got transferred to Court Comfort here in Harare in Tinward, where I did my grade 5 to grade 7. Then after that, I really wanted to go to a boarding school, but because my dad was just a poor tailor, but hardworking,
loving,
very loving, and very. Yeah, he was so invested in education. Trevor, I tell you, you would make us read those rapid result college books so that you would improve your English language.
Right. Why did you choose law when you went to University of Zimbabwe?
2 reasons. It was because of the state book that we did in ZJC.
Which one was that?
God's Case No Appeal, about a lawyer, a Nigerian lawyer who was practicing law in London.
Right.
And got caught. He was from the royal family, Nigeria, and his father had died. So there was that conflict between him continuing with his law practice or him taking up the chieftainship.
So that's what made you go for law at UZ?
Yes, in a way. But what then made the decision easy was obviously the points.
The points, yeah.
The points I had as my A levels.
You had 3 A's, eh?
Yes.
Wow.
3
3 A's in which subjects?
It was history, Shona, and divinity.
Wow.
But the funny thing is, when I started my A levels, other than being loved at by my fellow art students, the science students and the commercial students would laugh at us, saying, you are doing Mutaoro. It was called Shona was Mutaoro. Then Divinity was Bible, and history was Noron or something.
But look at you now. Perhaps one of the best legal brains that this country has. What books have you read that you'd want to recommend to our book loving audience that's out there?
They must read God's Case No Appeal. It's a brilliant
Who wrote
book.
that book? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
That's fine. We'll find out. Yeah.
But it's easy to find.
Okay, right.
Then the book by the late Heidi Holland, Dinner with Mugabe.
Mm-hmm.
I read that. Then also, at the moment, it's controversial, but I'm a reader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lawyer. I don't choose sides.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading Excel Gate.
All right. By Jonathan Moyle, yeah.
Yes. Then I'm not only a book reader. I'm, because of the digital age, I'm more of, I follow, documentaries and TV programs. I don't usually miss my Amanpour.
Oh, Christian Amanpour,
Yes,
CNN, yeah.
I don't. And my Farid
Zakaria.
GPS.
Yeah.
I don't miss those. And you might also want to know that I don't miss my In Conversation with Trevor.
You've just made my day.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Archford, it's been an inspiration talking to you.
Thank you.
I must be honest though and say, after reading your bio, myself and my peer reading your bio, I was almost in tears.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But I was comforted when I realized just how much you've been able to achieve. So your story is a story that says the fact that you live with a disability does not mean that you're not able.
Yes.
I've no doubt that your story is going to inspire quite a lot of people. We wish you all the very best. We have no doubt that the best is yet to come for you.
Thank you,
and we're praying and wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.
Continue inspiring people that are in the same position as you, because they will see that you've been successful in spite and despite of what life, the hand that life has dealt with you. So thank you so much for creating the time to be here.
I wish the president will watch this.
We'll try and see if we can get it to him.
Because that's where everything happens.
Right.
If you don't have the support of the government.
Yeah. We'll see how we get the message to him. Archford, thank you so much. Allow me now, Archford, to tend to our viewers who are all over the world who've made this show the success that it has become. We are a weekly show. We are up on YouTube every Monday at 7 a.m. Central African time. To ensure that you don't miss out any of these quality conversations, we invite you to click on this button and subscribe. We're also inviting you to go beyond that. Please share, like, and scroll down below this video for the links to podcasts. We are now on all podcast platforms for your listening pleasure. Until the next time, cheers to you all.